Have you ever gotten such a good deal on something that you kind of felt like you literally cheated the other person? That's how I felt buying the Shadowrun Returns trilogy. Good Old Games had a sale some years ago to celebrate the series' anniversary, and when I say sale, I mean someone at GOG either lost a bet or misclicked. My memory's a bit fuzzy, but I think I got at least the first game for literally $0 and the sequels for like $5 combined. That's around 60 hours of content for less money than some people spend on a cup of coffee. But before I get ahead of myself, here's some background. Shadowrun started life in the late 80s as a tabletop RPG in the vein of Battletech, Warhammer, and D&D. And like those games, it wasn't very long before it made its way into novels, card games, and yes, video games, with the first Shadowrun game coming out in 1993 for the SNES. After some companies played hot potato with the rights for a while, Shadowrun landed with Microsoft, who then licensed it out to the series' co-creator Jordan Wiseman. His company, Harebrained Schemes, launched a successful Kickstarter campaign, and in 2013, Shadowrun Returns was released on PC, with the sequels following in 2014 and 2015. Now that we got the background info out of the way, how about we discuss the games themselves? Let's start off with the setting. Shadowrun takes place in an alternate reality where the occultist conspiracy nuts were right and something did happen in the year 2012, particularly the Awakening, an event where magic became real, several humans were mutated into elves, dwarves, orcs, and trolls, and a bunch of dragons came into existence. The games take place several decades into the future when humanity has collectively shrugged and said, okay, I guess this is real life now. Oh, and also, we're in Blade Runner. Shadowrun is a unique blend of fantasy and cyberpunk dystopia. You can have an ancient dragon as the CEO of an international megacorp, filing quarterly earnings reports. You can have an elf acting as a hacker. Sorry, I meant Decker, or a human called Jerry summoning a fire demon because he failed a charisma check. It's a unique setting to be sure, and the games make use of both the fantasy and the sci-fi elements. These are isometric tactical RPGs. You create your character, race, gender, class, and operate out of a central hub, traveling to self-contained missions called Shadowruns. It's not open world, you're not knocking over random trash cans for physics fun, but the games do give you flexibility in how you solve your problems. You get upgrade points by achieving goals, not by defeating enemies, so any approach is valid. Guards blocking your door? Maybe you find another entrance, maybe you pass a dialogue check, or maybe you introduce them to your good friend Boomstick who negotiates exclusively in buckshot. Which brings us to combat. It's turn-based, so if that alone makes you recoil in disgust, sorry, these games aren't for you. Everybody has action points, which can be used to move around the battlefield, use items, or attack enemies. There's a cover system which mitigates damage suffered, and there's also unique mechanics to specific classes, such as ley lines. These can power up magical characters if they stand on them, but they also have a funny habit of being placed in the perfect place for enemies to give you a 38 caliber lobotomy. Likewise, if you bring a Decker, you can jack into the Matrix. These are separate cyberspace sequences that play like simplified combat arenas. It's your chance to roleplay as Neo. If Neo had AP points and could miss despite having an 85% chance to hit. Matrix runs usually aren't mandatory, but they tend to offer some juicy rewards, so you'll want to do them regardless. There's a nice aspect of strategy to combat encounters, figuring out the best place to put your character and your teammates to get the most out of their unique skills. Before each shadow run, you can select the runners that are going to tag along with you and what items they're going to carry. You always want to bring a team of 4 along, unless you're playing on easy mode or are just much better at this game than I am. But actually, team building is where we hit some bumps in the road. First up, Returns is kinda lacking in interesting teammates. Throughout a lot of the game, you're basically stuck with these generic mercs. You eventually do get a couple recurring characters, but this game ain't exactly giving the Persona series a run for its money in terms of memorable party members. Thankfully, this is a problem exclusive to the first game. What isn't exclusive is the lack of inventory management in the missions themselves. You can assign gear before missions, sure, but during runs, there's no proper item trading between characters. Let's say you're playing a squishy mage. You find a grenade. It's useless to you. Meanwhile, your teammate is built like Tom Brady with anger issues and could throw that damn thing across the entire map. Tough luck, says the game as it welds the grenade to your wizard's bathrobe. The only way for the other guys to get items is if you manually make them pick it up. If you receive something directly from an NPC, it's yours and there's nothing you can do. It's such a weird oversight, especially for a game that wants you thinking ahead. Why can't I just click on the item, click on, I don't know, a give command, and then give it to the other characters? It's so simple. There are also occasional glitches. Now, glitches in an RPG are kind of like confusing plots in a Christopher Nolan movie. It's just part of the experience. But Dragonfall has one fight, the longest in the game, where saving can soft lock your file. So picture this, a fight that can last up to 40 minutes depending on how you play it, enemies coming from every which corner, and you can't save. If you do, the game soft locks and you have to restart the whole thing. Just plain evil. Still, all three games are very fun to play. Dragonfall and Hong Kong iterate upon the formula instead of radically changing it, and it leads to each subsequent entry making some interesting additions, such as loyalty quests. These are optional runs where only one of your teammates tags along, and you get some more development for them and usually a sweet upgrade at the end. And speaking of which, as you finish quests, your partners level up alongside you, and you can select distinct upgrades for them. Iger, a companion from Dragonfall, can either focus on close or long-range combat. Isabel, a companion from Hong Kong, can focus on either meat space or matrix combat. All this stuff just adds strategy to the later entries. It's incredibly rewarding to build your crew exactly how you want them, giving everybody unique roles and just tearing through groups of enemies like a well-oiled machine. The growing confidence also gets reflected in the stories, so let's talk about them. Returns' plot takes place in the city of hipsters and Starbucks, Seattle. It begins with your player character getting a call from an old friend, Sam. Turns out, Sam's dead, and has left us a large amount of money, but only if we can figure out who killed him. We settle down in a brothel called the Seamstress Union and kick off a noir murder mystery centered around the Emerald City Ripper. The first half of the story is strong, gritty, focused, personal, and then somewhere along the way we go from murder mystery to, and I am not kidding, extra-dimensional invasion. It's just jarring. The mystery gets solved about halfway through and we move right along to a story about evil bug spirits trying to take over the planet. Neither idea is necessarily bad, but they really don't mix together well. Dragonfall, on the other hand, takes place in Berlin's Flux State, a trial run for anarchism that, surprise, turns into a crime-infested hellhole, with one of the few safe spots being the Cruise Bazaar, which serves as our hub. You're recruited by your old friend Monica for a run that goes catastrophically wrong. She dies in the Matrix and her last word is Firewing, a dragon long thought dead. Now we have to find out what happened to Monica while also defeating the mysterious forces that killed her and are now hunting us. Dragonfall works because it stays emotionally grounded. Monica's absence haunts the entire story. The Cruise Bazaar feels lived in. The story never loses focus because you never lose sight of this overarching goal of avenging your friend. Speaking of friends, they're a huge improvement. Iger I already mentioned. She's a disciplined soldier with real edge. Glory is a cyber-enhanced wrecking ball. Dietrich is the support mage and cool uncle. Blitz is a complete moron and is only useful for his decking skills. Yeah, not all winners, I'm afraid. The loyalty missions deepen everyone. You're not just hiring mercs, you're building a crew. Hong Kong finally takes place in... where do you think? This is the free enterprise zone. If the Flux State was anarchism, we're now getting full-on corporativism, with the city effectively ruled by the megacorps. For the first time, the player character has a previous history with one of his teammates. Duncan Wu is our adoptive brother and now a member of the private police force Lone Star. The siblings get summoned to Hong Kong by their adoptive father, Raymond Black, but once there, they find out he's missing and a bunch of people die, with Lone Star putting out an APB on us and Duncan. The silver lining, if you can call it that, is that whoever took Raymond also killed 2 Shadowrunners working for Kindly Cheng, a local crime boss, so now we're voluntold to work for Cheng while she tries to figure out who killed her men and what Raymond has to do with this whole mess. Hong Kong's plot delves a lot deeper into family drama and personal issues than Dragonfall did. It's not nearly as large scale, even at the end the stakes pretty much boil down to just one city, but I don't mind that. Nobody here stands out as unlikable. Duncan's pretty tightly wound at first, but it's cool to see his sibling relationship with our character develop. Gobbet worships rats and eats slop, yet is still probably the most well-adjusted member of the crew. Isabel is a shy decker and has probably written some 18-plus fan fiction in the past. Ractor's super cool and kind of unnerving, and Gaichu is basically a zombie samurai. What's not to like? It should be clear by now that Returns is the weakest entry in the trilogy. It's not bad, but it feels like the team figuring out what it is they wanted this thing to be, with the sequels clearly improving upon the formula. If the setting sounds interesting to you, play all 3 games. Go for it. Even Returns is still worth a playthrough. But if you're strapped for time and/or cash and can only play one, I'd say it comes down to Dragonfall and Hong Kong. Want a big, epic story? Go for Dragonfall. You want some more personal writing? Hong Kong's your game. The Shadowrun Returns trilogy started out with a brisk walk, but was outright sprinting by the end, and with the vibes, the strategic combat, the complex narratives, it's hard not to feel that pull, that desire to run in the shadows. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Have you played the trilogy? And are the old SNES and Mega Drive games worth checking out? Let me know. And next time, we're shifting gears. I'm gonna do something I've never done before in this channel. A 2-part review. To try and coincide with the upcoming Amazon Prime show, I'm gonna review one of the most popular comic book franchises of all time. One not belonging to either Marvel nor DC. Next up, Part 1 of my review of Invincible. See you there.